Hi everyone, as you can see from the title, Only Fools and Horses, Batman and Robin, and Israel is the place to be. Connecting three things together. We all know at this point of time of year, everything's shut usually. Back in my time when I was young, a teenager, when I lived in London, especially on the 25th of December, and everyone was glued to the TV, and one of the epic things was, which everyone used to watch, was Only Fools and Horses, especially I think it was in the late 80s, which I just watched repeats. I was too young at that point in time. There was in 1993. I think there was a few episodes, if I'm not mistaken. Also 1996, I think there was the famous 3 episodes, which I think had like 25 million views or something like that, each episode at that point in time. And then I think later on in the 2000s, there was a few other episodes, if I'm not mistaken. But one of the things that stand out at that point in time, it was on my bar mitzvah in 1996. So it was a time period I was learning Hasmonean High School. So us inside the house, we obviously we're not celebrating the 25th of December. We came from a religious house, and obviously Hanukkah usually falls out on this period. So we always get our Hanukkah presents. We're playing with the dreidel, donuts, everything else, and celebrating it every single night, lighting the Chanukiah and all of that. But we obviously see the TV sides of it, the TV with the Only Fools and Horses, all those different things, and we're visiting Brent Cross, doing all the shopping. So what's interesting was, I remember one of the episodes from Only Fools and Horses was the one with Batman and Robin, where Del and Rodney were dressed up as Batman and Robin. I'm not too sure what happened. I think that there was some specific fancy dress party, if I'm not mistaken. Also Trigger, in that episode, he dressed up as the conductor, or something like that, or the taxi driver. Someone will correct me if I was wrong on that. Anyway, what happened was, I think there was a councillor, there was a head of the municipality of Peckham at the time that was about to get robbed. And then in come Del and Rodney, and they came running as Batman and Robin because they were in that fancy dress. And she got the shock of her life, and the thieves ran away, and she was saved. And then later on, they received a special reward, and I think it was a famous episode where, if I'm not mistaken, they had they all found good news in one form or another. But it got me thinking with regards to this about Del, Rodney, Batman, Robin. It very much symbolises, we've had the state of Israel, the Medinat Israel, for 75 years now. We've had trials and tribulations, unfortunately, all throughout the world. There's people that don't necessarily like us, whether in the media, as we've seen it over the last nearly 3 months, from many, many different countries. But I must say also, there's a lot of support also at the same time from a lot of countries. I do a lot of videos all the time, so I'm getting inundated with support from many countries also. But unfortunately, in the media, we could see that there's a lack of support from many places, also a lack of understanding when it comes to Israel within regards to everything else. So we've all the benefits, of phenomenal benefits we get from living here. We've unfortunately had conflict after conflict here with different countries, so many different countries surrounding us that might not want they've shown their intentions, what they want, and that's very much like in a kind of way, this kind of imagery which I'm saying. But this is it. There was a person that was interviewed from the Jewish Chronicle on Talk TV just a few days ago. I think it was in last day, or I'm not too mistaken, but he was saying that people are having this discussions. People from England are calling up their friends in Israel, their relatives in Israel, and we're saying, the people in England are saying, "Are you okay? How are you?" Obviously worried. We care about each other. We all love each other. We feel for each other. We're feeling. People in England are feeling what we are suffering in Israel at the moment with rockets. Many of our close relatives, our kids, our parents, close relatives are serving in the army. There's a huge worry that everyone in the country's got. We're all worried about hostages. We've got obviously relatives that many of our relatives could be hostages at the moment. We're petrified at the moment. So the people in England, he was saying, are asking, how are we doing? How are we doing? So we answer back to the people in England or America or Canada or wherever it might be, or France, whichever country we're in. We're doing okay. We're managing on with our lives. under the very difficult circumstances. Some people are relocated from the south and from the north, and have went to central Israel to relocate during this period in time. We're okay, but how are you feeling? That's what this Israeli person is also asking the people that is asking from outside of Israel, because we're worried about how people are feeling with intimidation people might have in England, in central London, with the protests going on on Saturday afternoon, with what's going on in the universities, the college campuses in America, with what's going on in South Africa. We are all worried about how we are feeling at this point in time, and we'll just see that this stage in time, the unity, especially across the Jewish people across the world, is extremely, extremely good at this point in time. We did not want it to get this great unity under these circumstances. God forbid, unfortunately, this has happened. But at the moment, the unity is fantastic, and that's it. This is the best place to live in the world, is to be in Israel. All the benefits. Obviously, many of us are patriotic from the countries we come from, and in many cases, rightly so. But this is the place to be at the moment. Unfortunately, it's not necessarily the safest place, I mean, from an outside view, but with all the troubled ships and the worries, this is still, the most phenomenal country. It's the most phenomenal story this country is. And may we go from strength to strength. There was once a teacher I was listening to, a scholar, and he was saying that there's something about being in Israel. This was going back in 2014, when there was a war during 2014, that being actually in Israel, living here at this point in time, experiencing those things, it's there's something to it also at the point in time. We don't want it. We want there to be peace, ideally. We all want it. We saw 105,000 people came and protested in a march against anti-Semitism. There wasn't one bad banner out there. There was not one intimidating banner out there. It was just peace, that we want friendship and peace with everyone else. We want everyone Israel to thrive. We want the community to thrive. And we want to have good relations with everybody else. But hopefully this is going to... we'll go from strength to strength, and we're just going to see good things in this country, and everyone's going to be safe, and all our heroic soldiers out there will be safe also, and we're not going to suffer any more casualties. And may our hostages be released healthy, and all of them, each one of them, and we must not forget them also.